So I did the video on Superhead recently, and in the comments, somebody said, are there any older, promiscuous women? We'll just go with that since it's so early in the video. But listen, are there any women of the night that are old and proud and peaceful? They are proud of what they've done. They are old and they are at peace. Now, I went through my mind trying to think of one, and who I came across in my mind was Lisa Ann, because Lisa Ann was making cougar porn like 10 years ago and stuff like that. So she was already older in the game. And the way I looked at her, she always had a positive attitude and everything was cool, da-da-da-da-da. But she was still active. She was still kind of active. And I ain't gonna lie, this is probably like 6-7 years ago, the last time I seen her and stuff like that. So being that I thought of her name, I was like, yo, let me go and see what she's up to. I Googled her name, and guess what I seen? She's playing victim now, man. She's playing victim. And this is what happens, man. These porn stars, they do this career porn. They're gleeful. They are happy. They're going to these conventions. They are making guys pay, or letting guys pay, however you want to put it, $50, $100, $300 to take some pictures and grab their butts and stuff like that. You got some who are actually doing work on the side, prostitution, after, the convention and stuff like that. And then they get done doing years and years of this stuff. Then when they quit, oh man, it was so horrible. It was the worst. Oh my goodness, they was doing me so dirty when they was paying me for the job that I signed up to do, man. It was so bad that they was giving me hundreds of thousands of dollars to have sex on screen, consensual sex. It was the worst thing ever, and they're so predatory with how they gave me those hundreds of thousands. But listen, man, I didn't watch the whole interview yet. I just watched a little portion of it. And this is what we gonna get into, man. We gonna watch this little clip and see what she got to say, man.
First impressions mean a lot, right? When we see a retired athlete, we always refer to them as the NFL player in them. They might have stopped playing NFL when they were 27 and they've been doing real estate and they're 50, but we're still going to call them an NFL player first, right? So I have that clear understanding of how we get labeled in who we've been. What's hard is like the medium of social media. And like today I did a live and it was wild. I would say 400 of the 500 people in there were just making aggressive sexual comments to me, telling me to take my top off, just, all the weirdness of and the things that people are willing to say. And I think my existence would be different 30 years ago without social media, because I wouldn't be constantly reminded how some people see me. I would only be reminded of my in-person experiences with the people that know me and that see me as I truly am, like the layers to me. So I do my best to just be like, okay, I get it. Like I will say to everyone on Instagram, and I did today, I'm like, just remember that when you're making those creepy comments, all you're doing is reminding us that you have no sex. And I have empathy for those who have no sex, because life is much better with sex. So you're just, flying your flag and shouting out to the world that nobody wants to have sex with you. And that's really how I kind of calm them down a little bit, because that's the reality. Anybody who's speaking like that is potentially an incel, or potentially someone who has just this one track obsession. And Fridays are by far the worst day to do any lives, because I find that people are burned out of their jobs. They're the most aggressive. And people that are lonely on Fridays are facing that they're going to be lonely for 2 days without even seeing their coworkers. So if you think about the psychology of the very lonely person, a Friday is a dark day. The rest of us, a Friday is a great day, because we're going to be like seeing all of our friends Saturday and Sunday, going to brunch, walking around and telling strangers we love them.
So listen, we gonna dissect this, man. Let's take it to the table. Let's go to biology class. Let's dissect this video very quickly. So the first thing, let's just get this out the way, and I'm not even gonna harp on it. Social media sucks. Social media sucks, and a lot of things that wouldn't happen in real life as far as communication happen through social media. That's a fact. I could get in, I could tell you about some regular shit. I could tell you about some embarrassing shit. I could tell you about how when Twitter first came out and niggas started getting on there, you know, I want to do a video on one of my channels at one point about when gangsters started getting on the internet, because I was on the internet before hood niggas got access to the internet. And once they got on, what did they start doing? They started threatening regular people in all caps. That's what they started doing. Now, if you were white and you were from some place where you never see these guys, I know it's nothing. But if you were from Chicago, you know all of them capital letters, somebody could die. So with that being said, yes, social media does suck. We just get that out the way. Now that we got that out the way, let's go to some of the key things. So the first thing is her talking about first impressions. First impression sounds good, and she is not wrong. But check this out. If we're at school and you know I'm the new kid and this is the first day and I fall down the longest flight of steps in between periods, everybody sees it and somebody records it. That's a first impression. They are going to think he's clumsy. That is, and they might just make me the butt of a joke. But that's a first impression off one interaction or one event. Now, people can carry that and laugh about it for the rest of high school and stuff like that. But if I do different things, you know, over the course of time and people actually figure out who I am, for example, let's say I get on a football team because I came from another school. I'm from a whole different city. They don't know nothing about me. I just fell down the steps. That's funny to them. I get on the team. I'm one of the receivers on the football team and stuff like that. I build a bond with some of those people. People see me at the games. I get a few touchdowns. And we could even just throw in some stuff like, okay, I get some D2 offers, so I'm about to go to college. They're going to know me as a football player more than the guy who stumbled down the steps. You know why? Because my actions over time let them know what I do, and the bonds that I built let them know who I am. And even then, some of those people who see me, we don't have the bond. So all they see is what I do. So he tripped one time, but he has great coordination on the football field. That's the reputation I built up. Even when she talks about athletes, it's not first impression. These are the most successful high level athletes on the planet. On the planet. And they are also compensated like they are not just the top athletes in the world, but some of the greatest entertainers in the world. Like they get companies millions of dollars off of their talent. People come and pay to see them play. So it's bigger than just a first impression. LeBron's career is fucking over 20 years, bro. It's over 20 years. So every part of LeBron, like he's a basketball player, bro, because that's what he's done for 20 years. When you look at what she's talking about, it's not first impressions. It's reputation, it's career, it's multiple events. This is what you've poured your energy into. This is what you have dedicated your life to. And this is the other thing. You didn't just do it on a low level. No, you did it on the highest level. You became a porn superstar. That's what you did. You became one of the biggest porn stars of all time. So that means you poured a lot of energy into sucking cocks on camera, and you have made a lot of money from sucking cocks on camera, and you know more than anybody that's been doing this for 1 year about the industry. You have experience. So with that being said, it's not about first impressions. This is from not just one decision you made, but years of decisions to not just keep going, but to keep elevating, not just at the craft, but at the career and also the fame. Because you were doing interviews, you were going to conventions, you were doing all of that. That's what you were doing. You were deliberately making an effort to elevate yourself in this arena. Now, let's get to 3 and 4. I'm going to make 3 kind of brief and then I'm going to dive into 4. The truth is that I don't know if she is admitted on the podcast or if she is admitted anywhere because I haven't watched the whole podcast. There is resentment. There is resentment there. You are not proud of what you did. You don't think what you did was amazing. More than likely, you wish that one or two things. You either wish you never did it, or you wish that what came with it didn't come with it. You wish you could have did it, but not have the results to come with it. So when we're listening to this interview, that's not what she's going to say, but that's exactly what it is. It's resentment about what she's done. She's not proud of what she's done. And that brings us to number 4. The social media taunting. And, I have to deal with this on social media and I wouldn't have to deal with it in real life. I'm going to say a few things about this. The first thing is, again, you've poured years of energy and effort into elevating yourself into this career. What is this career? This career is you partaking in sexual activity on screen so that people can satisfy themselves through the other end of that screen. And the way that these guys know you is through their horniness, flat out point blank. They know you for all the stuff that you did on camera, all the nasty stuff, and they know you and they adore you. They actually adore you because of how you made them feel when they was busting them nuts. So when these guys come on and they are saying this stuff, it's possible that some are coming on to be rude and stuff like that. But the truth is, you have built a career off exploiting men's horniness. So now that the horny men are still around and you're still using the name Lisa Ann, you still got the same face that used to get cummed on all the time. Like, they are coming and they still look at you as that and they still want to see you take off the clothes. And that annoys you. That annoys you. It bothers you. It makes you feel inhuman probably. But this is not a result that you were unfamiliar with, and it just started happening. No. Social media has been out for 15 years. Live streams have been out for quite a while, at least 10 years. This started happening before then, but you've experienced this before then, I can guarantee it, but before recently. But at the end of the day, since we're using names, incel and stuff like that, you were a whore. You were an on-screen whore. That's what you were. So when you look at that, you created that. You poured energy into that. Now the results, you don't like the results. You don't like it. These guys are not trying to be malicious as far as I guarantee you the majority of them are not. Because if she pulled them titties out, motherfuckers start jacking off. That's what it is. You made men horny for years and now you mad that, and this is the thing. The whole yeah, I would just have to deal with this on the internet. Man, listen. There are local whores in every major metropolitan area, every cow town, everywhere, all around the map. And guess what? They get treated like whores or even reminded that they are whores at different points in different environments during different interactions in real life. They get reminded. I'll give you one example. I was at a job. There was a porn star that ended up working there. But this is the thing. She wasn't even a famous porn star. She just fucked some famous guys in some low tier, 720p internet porn videos. But it was a major company that was doing, she's just not one of the names that you would know. You know how that is. But fam, she shot with Mr. Marcus and a few of those other big names and stuff like that. She's at the job. And guess what? Word is spreading around. It gets to me, we find a video, we watch it, we laugh. Now, we're in a professional environment. I can't tell you because I wasn't like in proximity of her other than like when she go out to smoke and shit like that. She wasn't even in my department. So I don't know how that played out in her department, but for that to make it over to my department, it's like, oh man. And guess what? There was a lot of fucking going on at the job anyways. So I'm sure some people put their bid in trying to fuck her and stuff like that. Like just on some crazy shit. But at the end of the day, she became the gossip, and she also got a lot of stares and things like that. And I'm pretty sure people even spoke to her certain ways. I mean, she's not even the only one that was working at that job. There was another chick who was doing dick suck tours actively, around the country and stuff like that. And she ended up working at my job and stuff like that, XYZ. And it's like, she was just more shameless with it. And it was something that she would talk about openly. But listen, this is the thing. It's the internet, and I get that people wouldn't come at you in public just like show your titties and stuff like that. But guess what? They jack off to you on the internet. That's what you built up. That's what you got paid the hundreds of thousands of dollars for, if not millions, if not a million. That's what you got paid for. But now that you want to stop and you want to go and live a regular life, it's like, oh yeah, because you compared it to NBA players and stuff like that. You look at John Stockton. John Stockton, fucking Holyfield and stuff like that. They could go places, and guess what? People say, "Oh, it's Holyfield, man. Yeah, man. Oh man, can I get a picture?" They might even bring up Mike Tyson. That might even annoy him, even at this point in life, even though him and Tyson is cool and all that stuff. But listen, Holyfield was somebody on the TV. Back in the TV era, when he sees people in person, they're going to come up to him. They're going to do all that stuff. And they're going to talk to him about boxing. They want to take pictures with him, et cetera, et cetera. They're going to have boxing related stuff to say to him. Even then, I've seen a troll, like some people get trolled in real life. Floyd Mayweather and a few other celebrities got trolled by this one guy on Instagram in person. They would say certain stuff to him like, Pacquiao beat your ass, like some crazy shit. And they would say that while putting the camera on Floyd at a booth in a motherfucking, football game or basketball game and stuff like that. And they would do that antagonizing him and stuff like that. I think the dude said he would beat his ass. I can't remember, man. But, that's certain stuff people got to deal with. Even Gervonta Davis be getting into fights and stuff like that. But listen, they poured their heart and souls into their careers as far as the people I mentioned. And guess what? People remember them after they're done. And people come up to them when they are done. A perfect example, Mia Khalifa told a story. She was at a meeting after her porn career. A guy with his girlfriend, he came up to her and said, hey, could I get a picture? Mia Khalifa was rude and said no. And the girlfriend said something like, see, I told you that wasn't her. You didn't recognize that it wasn't her because she usually has cum on her face. So you just mistook this woman for her. And it was Mia Khalifa, and Mia Khalifa like just broke down, started crying and shit like that. And it's like, these are the things that these chicks deal with. Like, so she's trying to act like, oh, nothing happens in real life. If I just had to, Mia Khalifa dealt with that. Mia Khalifa dealt with that. The chick in my job dealt with what she dealt with, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we could just act like none of this transcends to real life and none of it impacts anything in real life. That's cool. But listen, that is the legacy you built. Now you have to live with it. Just deal with that. But this is the last thing. And this is why I am anti-porn as far as like the industry and stuff like that. I'm anti-OnlyFans. I'm anti-prostitution. I'm anti-strippers. I'm anti-paying whores. I'm anti-tricking. I am anti all of that shit. Because we already went over how this chick poured her heart and soul into this career of squeezing the semen out of throbbing cocks for years. That's what she did on screen. She has done that. She benefited from this financially for the years that she did it. She may have even won some AVN awards or something like that, some porn awards. It's possible. So, in her field, congratulate, like she was more than likely happy when she won some of that stuff and she was getting that money. Now that it's over, Now she has regrets. Now she doesn't like how she's being treated. Now she wants to play the victim. So we went over all of that. But again, this that I'm about to say, this is the reason that I am against all of this shit. This bitch don't respect the customer, man. Since she closed up shop, she don't respect the customer. What she has resorted to was shaming the people who have built up her career, which is incels. I don't even like saying that word. But listen, that's what she did. She said, you were just showing us that you don't get sex and da 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 da. And she tried to shame them into not supporting her because that's what some of them were trying. Bruh, these guys have been watching her for years. For years. When I found out about her, she was an old whore. Like she was a cougar. She was doing cougar moves. Like, so now she gets into this position and she can't keep it a bean. Like, I hate what I did. I hate the actions that I took. I take full accountability for everything that I did, and I hate that I did it. She doesn't say, please, this is what I need you to do. I'm a regular person. Like, I need y'all to just please stop doing that. I need y'all to please it. And even then, that might not stop it. I'm not about to sit here and lie. That might not stop it. But when you go, I didn't hear about her having any progression in this stuff that she is mentioning. She didn't mention a progression. She didn't mention, man, I tried to tell them to stop, and they wouldn't stop. And I just had to go and say, listen, you guys don't get any pussy. Like, she didn't say that. She just said she didn't like what was being said. Like, take your top off. It's so obnoxious. Ooh, I'm a lady now. I'm a lady. I should be respected as such now since I quit. But all my whole catalog is still out there. I should be respected now. To not only cope with the regret, but to also stop, the requests and things of that nature. What she did was she insulted her fan base. She insulted her supporters. That's what it was. It was a nasty defense tactic used to stop what was going on. And I guess it worked. But at the end of the day, I already went over everything else. All of that was nasty before. And I'm not going to lie. If it wasn't for this last part, the whole incident, I probably wouldn't have covered this video. I was going to keep watching the interview because I wanted to see, the whole, okay, I'm a victim and stuff. I didn't even get that far in the interview, dog. I'm like, we not even 15 minutes into the interview. And you talking about incels. Like, you don't make porn. Like, there's all this shit going on, right? Listen, bro. In 2008, in 2012, even in 2015, there was not all this information out there in abundance about how porn destroys your brain and all that. Like in 2002, in 2008, in 2012, it was just not even like how y'all got all this nofap shit going. It wasn't even a quarter of what you see floating through the internet now out there. It's so abundant now. Like, bruh, did you know that porn can affect your brain to where you can have erectile dysfunction? Did you know that? Did you know that? That information on some scientific shit might have been discovered somewhere in the 2000s. I don't even think it was discovered in the 90s. It could have been discovered in the 2000s, but it wasn't. It's still not mainstream information, but it's popular information now. It wasn't popular information 10 years ago. I'm telling you that is a fact. So it could be debated when we look at how porn affects brains and things like that, that she has actually destroyed generations of men because she was an old horse. So she was doing this for generations. It could be debated that she has destroyed generations of men. She participated in the destruction of men. You could definitely debate that. And for her to get up and get on her high horse and then just shit on the people that not only supported her and got her all that money to get them fucking bananas and cucumbers that she could put in the fridge during her career, but also possibly the same men that she helped destroy. The same men that she helped destroy. For her to insult her fan base like that. This is an evil bitch. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't care how much she smiled and how much she said, oh man, I don't give a fuck how good the interview went. I don't care how much of a sweetheart she seems to everybody else. When you really look like, because the interviewer, he got canned questions. He know what he coming in and asking shit. And she not about to sit down on an interview where anybody is about to hold her feet to the fire. None of these porn stars ever get their feet held to the fire. But listen, when you really look at everything through the scope of what I said, it's really nasty. It's really nasty. I could understand if guys were coming out trying to attack her, make her look bad and all that. Bruh, that's not what's going on. You are a porn star forever. Forever. Just like Karl Malone or John Stockton or Michael Jordan. They're going to look at them as basketball players forever, even though they have not dribbled on TV in 20 years. You built a career off of this. You did a career. So listen, that is what you're going to be unless you do something that was greater than your career. You won't be known as anything else in the public eye. And even then, you have a connection with those other people. So even then, it doesn't, just because you do something that tops that, it doesn't mean that the people that, helped you during your career as far as supporting you, like they're going to forget about it. But that's it, man. That's all I got for you today, man. Let me know your thoughts. I'm gone.